Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine and I'm back to review another episode of CBS's Big Brother season 18. This time I'm reviewing episode number 5, so let's just get down to it. Well, Jose was voted out, but apparently he has a chance to come back in because Big Brother decided, let's just throw in another twist and call it the Big Brother Battle Back, where the first 5 evicted house guests get a chance to battle one another, and whoever emerges victorious gets to return to the game. I don't know how to feel about this twist. Besides, on a side note, I'm so happy Big Brother is living up to that tagline that they use sometimes in different seasons, where they always say this is going to be the twistiest season yet. This season is living up to that tagline. But as far as that battle back thing goes, it could go terribly wrong and Jose could end up back in that house, and that's the last thing that the house guests want to happen. And unfortunately, Big Brother is not telling the other house guests, so that's going to make it even crazier. One thing about watching the feeds is that you are able to see each of these house guests in their natural form, so to speak, walking around in their habitat. Kind of like, and this is not calling people animals, but kind of like you're at a zoo and you get to see the zebras walking around in a makeshift habitat. Sometimes that's what Big Brother seems like to me. The only difference is that with these people that are in the house, sometimes they forget that the cameras are on and they say things they should not say. Who am I referring to? Bronte. Now, they did not show what she said in this episode, but online I learned that apparently Bronte said that she wants to send James back to Hong Kong when he's Korean. She said some other things that were problematic. Honestly, like Bronte had said in her entrance interview with Jeff that she did not want to be or care if she was liked by us, the fans, or America as a whole. But to be honest, like, certain things you can't say in this house at all. The same goes for Paul, who seems to have a problem with women. I don't know if it's the fact that the whole Bridget and Paulie getting together thing or hanging out together thing bothers him, or does it bother him that Zakia is cool with Paulie because that in the beginning Paul said that he liked Zakia, but then it seems like the Spy Girls, the Powerpuff Girls as I call them, are for the most part like into Paulie, and he's really upset by that because they're not into him. And it only seems like the whole joke that James said where he was one of the girls and he was sitting in the room with the other girls seemed to set Paul off. And he showed a really ugly side of himself by basically like pushing Bronte away and telling her that she was more useful inside or some mess. And then Bronte went inside and she got upset, and Paul is talking about how, he can't handle these females in the house. Like I said, certain things on the feeds should not be said, but I think that people become very comfortable inside the house that they tend to forget how many people are watching these feeds. These house guests have a right to feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit iffy, a little bit suspicious of Bridget because they really don't know her yet. In fact, they really don't know one another that much yet. But for the most part, Bridget has been sitting back, and she's been chilling. Well, that is until she got together with the other Spy Girls. And to basically make a long story short, Bridget has become the person who is literally spying on the other house guests. So is Natalie and Bronte, but they didn't show that on the show. So I'm only talking about Bridget in this instance. A lot of people look at Bridget as though like she is a mean girl because she's coming across as that on the feed leads it on the TV show because she's a part of the Spy Girls. But to be completely honest, I feel like people underestimate those Spy Girls. I don't buy this whole sweet and innocent act. Not one of them is ditzy. Not one of them is stupid. They are all playing a part to appear as though they are, what's the word? Not a threat. And those 3 girls are definitely a threat. And there were some people on the, I believe it's on Twitter, on the Big Brother 18 tag, where they were saying they need to get rid of Bridget before they get rid of Jose. Now, it was time for Jose to go. They can deal with Bridget later. I know how people feel about the word later in this game, but I feel like they can deal with Bridget and the girls later. They need to decimate Jose, which they already did before we learned about the buyback or battle back thing. Paul and Victor, because those 3 guys are something. Then they can deal with those girls later, in my opinion. I thought that tonight's episode was pretty bizarre as it was because the house guests really, honestly, did not do the exit goodbye videos the way that I thought they were going to do. And I was just like, Davon is not, really roasting this kid. Like, why? But I think the most bizarre part was not only the fact that Jose had nothing to say as he left, but Jose's exit interview. I mean, he was talking about how he was truthful and honest and how Natalie flipped and that's why he went home. I'm like, apparently 3 other people flipped too. And they're the reason why he went home as well. He feels like his team members were lured to the dark side as if he's Luke Skywalker and all they are little Jedis. No. Zakiya and Davon jumped ship a long time ago. They just played along with this situation. And he said that people in the house are quote-unquote weak-minded. I'm wondering, is he saying that they are weak-minded because they did not want to get with his program? Or are they weak-minded because they did not worship him like the Big Brother Messiah that he is? Or did he say that they are weak-minded because they decided to get rid of him over Paulie? To be completely honest, Jose is the bigger threat than Paulie. And let me break it down really quickly as to why I think Jose is a bigger threat than Paulie. Yes, Paulie's brother Cody was in this game. His brother told him what to do in the game, probably helped coach him. He watched the seasons. He maybe has a little bit of a leg up on everybody else, but this is season 18. Cody was on season 16. The same rules really don't apply. Quite honestly. On top of the fact that Jose came in and all he kept doing was talking. See, he really wasn't on anybody's radar. Even Nicole's. Like, Nicole was still wavering as to who she should put up on the block. Because she wanted to put up Jose, but then she was like, well, I could put up this one or that one. And then all of a sudden she hears that Jose is walking through the house talking about, I'm going to get rid of that B. That B's going to go home when I become HOH. I hope that does not happen. But if he wins that battle back, he will end up back in this game. But anyways, he put the target on himself. So he can't. So basically, Jose described Nicole's gameplay as being snakish and sneaky. She wasn't sneaky. She tried her best to stay the hell out of Jose's way, and I don't blame her because she couldn't gauge him and she didn't know how he was going to react, and some of the things that he was saying upset her. So, I mean, if I had been in the house and I was the HOH, I would have steered clear of him as well. But, pretty much the reason why Jose went home was because Zakiya, Frank, Day, Michelle, James, Tiffany, and Corey stuck true to their words and they voted him out. The only people who voted to save him were obviously Victor, Paul, Bronte, and Natalie, because you know that Bridget couldn't vote. But I mean, as a whole, this episode was okay. I just wish that they had continued and let us see who won HOH. But I'm sure by now in the feeds, everybody pretty much knows. Let me see if I missed anything else because I was so super excited. Super excited to see this episode because I wanted to see Jose's reaction, and I'm kind of a little bit disappointed. Oh, that Alliance Fatal 5 that includes Nicole, Tiffany, Day, Zakiya, and Michelle. You can break that alliance down further because there is another one that includes, if memory serves, Nicole, Day, and Zakiya and Tiffany. I mean, there are so many alliances at this point. It's hard to gauge them. I hope I'm right about the other alliance. And I think it's pretty funny how the girls have decided in the Fatal 5, like, we have to get close to these boys. We have to figure out what's going on so we can vote them out. Honestly, some people may look at that as being, you know, horrible gameplay. But for me, it's not, because the guys do that damn near every season and have been doing it since, I believe, season 2, because that's when the whole showmance thing started up, because I believe it was Dr. Will who coined that phrase. I'm not 100% about that, but I think he was the one that coined that phrase. But other than that, there's really not much to talk about. But at least this episode included that lighthearted part where James replaced the body lotion with mayonnaise. He's been doing those mayonnaise pranks the whole time. I'm kind of glad that James is in the house because everything is so intense and things are just going from 0 to 100 all the time, and the paranoia is just extreme. And on a side note, what is with all these balancing type competitions? I know that I started talking about this in another one of these reviews, but I've noticed that, like, Big Brother is really pushing those competitions. So they require not only your physical strength, but your mental strength as well as balance. I mean, season 18 so far, Big Brother is just, oh my goodness, it's so intense, and I am honestly all here for it. I will be here all summer to do all of these reviews and have a few pop-up Big Brother POVs recorded just so that we can sit down and basically break this down together, because there's so much to talk about and there's not enough time for Big Brother to truly show everything on the television show. But you guys take care. Don't forget to rate this video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Are you surprised that Jose went home? And do you think that he has a chance in hell to return to the game? I'm afraid that he just might. And I really, really hope not. But anyways, also hit me up on Twitter at Sage Valentine and Google Plus at Sage Valentine. I'm still working on Periscope. And I'm also on Snapchat. Sage Valentine 31. So I love you guys. Take care. Bye, guys. Bye.